Welcome to the show today, Allowed to Talk. And today I want to talk about family. How you love your family and you should care for your family. And if you keep God first and then family, things should be good. It's not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. And there will be some ups and downs. Maybe times even not roller coaster like, but maybe like you might feel like you're going to fly off the merry-go-round. Even though you can enjoy a merry-go-round that's going around and the horses up and down and the cars and the seats and some of those chairs on the merry-go-round, that's fun. Or would you like to call it, instead of a merry-go-round, you could call it the carousel. The family's like that. It's fun and you can enjoy it and the ride can be great. But sometimes it doesn't feel right. It sometimes feels like you're going to fly off the car or whatever ride you're on, because life is like a ride, I think, anyway, and family too. And families fight over the craziest fun things, fun and crazy, I guess. Things that aren't really that bad. Where should we go on vacation this year? Let's take turns picking. Let's save up some money. Let's do this. Let's do that. Just surviving, not just being alive, but thriving, having a good time with your family. Families fight over silly things like inheritances. Who's going to get the money when mom and dad die? Like my grandparents, I had a video about that, and they owned a farm, but with 9 children that they had, and some passed away, there wasn't a whole lot left to divide among whoever got the money. And it's not worth it to fight and think about, this is what I'm going to get so I can have an extra, $5,000 if that's all it turns out to be. And $5,000 is a lot of money, but it's not enough to destroy your whole family over, or be so bitter about, or I don't know the right word to use, I guess, jealous over. And money isn't a bad thing. Like I say so many times, money you need funds to get by. And earning money the honest way, because honesty is the best policy. Not being cruel when you're honest, like if you don't like someone's hair, say, oh, your hair is disgusting today, I hate your hair, that way. You can say, well, your hair is not what I like, but if you like it, that's okay. And I wish you would change your hair. Or if it's a spouse saying, does my hair look good? You could say, well, I like your hair better when you have it this or that way. You know, there's always speaking the truth in love and being kind to people. That would be the best way to talk about any situation with a family. And if God's first, then your wife or husband or your spouse is next, and then the kids, and then the rest of the family. Now, you might not have the funds to buy exactly what you want, but you can get what you need. It's not the fancy house or the curtains, the designer curtains or bedspread or designer furniture. It's you being there with your family. Vacations are fun, and you should plan vacations and time together away from the job with them, or even just a weekly thing like taking your kids to dinner, just one of them. No matter if you have 1, 5, 10 kids, whatever. Make a night for just that child to go out to dinner with them, or just a dad and daughter day, or just dad and son day, or mom and daughter day, and mom and son day. Just son, meaning S-O-N, son for them, the day to take them for dinner, or a little thrift shopping or shopping. I love to go thrift shopping, so just have a special time for your family. That's important, you know? Do things. But to fight over the future of money, or if you have a spouse that's manipulative or self-centered and they think, oh, when your so-and-so dies, your aunt, uncle, mom, dad, they're getting old now, wonder if we get the house, I wonder if this. And if there's a will in the family, you should tell your kids, the will is this. I have 2 children, so 50% goes to the one child, 50% goes to the other. So if I own a $300,000 house, and the one has their own house and the other one's renting, then if they want this house, even if they're still living with me when I pass away, because my spouse, I'm a widow at the time, because one of them's going to die first. If you don't unless you're in a car accident or some kind of a terrible accident and you pass away together, elderly or not, there's going to be some kind of will. And if you are honest to your children, tell them 50%, because I have 2 children, 50% goes to the one, 50% goes to the other. If the other is married to someone who thinks the house is all going to them and you're not going to have to take a loan or a mortgage, you should tell them half goes to your older sibling and half goes to you, or half goes to your younger sibling if it's the older sibling thinking this. This isn't my daughter's because we sold our house and we're spending our inheritance right now camping here in Florida and everywhere we want to see before we pass away, because you're not getting out of here alive unless, like Enoch in the Bible, who prayed and God took him straight to heaven, if you read the Old Testament, or Elijah, who went to heaven in a chariot of fire with angels around him. And, I can imagine what that might have looked like, or the things that we see today that 200 years ago people would think we have some kind of magical powers with what's going on in the world, with even just what I'm talking on right now, this camera on this cell phone. I wouldn't even imagine this when I was 14, 15 years old, and now I'm 66, and I've seen all this electronics and computer ages. I grew up in that. I grew up with the UNIVAC 1005. It was a card reader. And like I was saying about family, let's get back on track here. You're not getting out of here alive, probably. You're going to have to pass away. And honesty is the best policy. And there's evil. And Satan's roaming to and fro, seeing who he can destroy, and convinced that all you have is this life and you don't have eternity in the presence of God, which you can't even imagine how great that would be and will be. As the things that are bad here, it's going to be so much better there. But you can have a life of thriving, not just living, but thriving. And you don't have to have a big 45-foot camper. You can have this 18-foot bunkhouse and enjoy every second of your life. And that's what I'm doing. My daughters know there's no inheritance because we just spent it on this camper and paying off some of the bills, and just we want to travel. We still have a car payment and of course other bills for things, groceries. We have a dog, we have to buy food for the dog and toiletries for ourselves, and we're just trying to thrive and not just be alive and say, oh, I have this $300,000 house and I like this house, so I'm not leaving this area ever, or selling it and doing anything that's fun. Or I'm sorry too, because if someone gets Alzheimer's or dementia, they'll need family to take care of them, and that could happen to me. I'm 66, so I'm in the years when it could start. And I know people who love their home, but they can't afford another house or to sell or to get a better house, and they're stuck there. And that's where they have to live to thrive and survive and have a good time. So they're enjoying that house and just saying, this is what I have for now. And their family's not worried about an inheritance for selling that whatever dollar amount the house is. But saying you can't leave that house because you love it so much, or can't give it up, or this is my house and I like it. Don't have fun. Just sit in that house and let the cobwebs grow around you as you watch TV station after TV station after TV station, or videos on the internet, whatever you want to do on your laptop or whatever. But you can have fun and thrive and have a good time with your life. But that house is not everything. It isn't. And it's just sad that some people get so wrapped up in what they own instead of enjoying life. You can help others too, your kids, along the way. But sometimes doing everything for them turns out for the worse for them. Just like a spouse who does everything for her husband, a woman who does everything for her husband, and then she passes away. That wasn't being good to the husband. The husband has to do things too. So, especially keep on, if you're still alive and your spouse died, just live. My husband said the other day, if I pass away, we were just talking casually to the family that we were with here in Florida. He said if I would pass away first, he'd probably mourn for a year, maybe 6 months, a year, and then he's going to keep enjoying his life. But he said kiddingly that he maybe couldn't find someone that's annoying as his wife is now, meaning me, that I'm annoying. Of course, that got some real chuckles and laughs from the people who have never been married but had 3 or 2 different relationships that didn't work. Or anyway, laughter is good medicine. A merry heart is good medicine. And laughing is okay. But to be so, I don't know, saying this is my house and I'm not moving or doing anything else in my life because I like this house. Family can be tough to deal with. And if you think you're not getting out of here without passing away, you better think again, because it's going to happen. Right now I want to thrive and maybe get a little more money in my life to do things like travel, to see things like Nashville, Tennessee, some place I've never been. So things like that. So family, you can love them, but don't think that they're always going to be there for you, because they're probably, some of them are seeing dollar signs. And I'm not talking about my children, because I raised them to not be so wrapped up in material things. Like, I got off track again, but money is not the root of all evil, or the root of evil. Money is needed. Monetization, paying your bills, funds to survive on and to live on and to save up. And if you saved up $500,000 and your family's looking at that like they're going to get that. I'm saying not my daughters, because they're not getting anything close to that. This camper's worth about $25,000, so that's about it. Let them fight over it, but they won't. I know they won't. Back to money. It's not the evil. Money is not evil. It is the love of money. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Even thinking you deserve some kind of money for the past that was done to someone else in your family or ancestors. If you're so set on getting that money or stimulus to survive, that's the love of money. It's the root of all kinds of evil. Like I said, Satan's roaming to and fro trying to deceive us all. He's the father of lies. And I believed lies in my life. I believed things that weren't true because of what it looked like. And I was hornswoggled just last year at this time, when I thought someone was so in love with one of my family that they would stay married forever, until to death do they part. And she left him for someone else. It blows my mind. But I keep looking to where my help comes from. The Lord, God, Jesus. Righteousness is through Christ. I'm not righteous. I do things wrong every day. But through Christ alone can I know my future is set. And things will be so much better. So love your family. But don't get so wrapped up in material things like, this house is mine and I'm never leaving. Because guess what? You are leaving, because you're going to die. We all are. So let's just enjoy the day. The sunlight or the rain, whatever God gives us. And know that you can have peace that passes all understanding by rejoicing in the Lord always. And think on these things that are noble, praiseworthy, things that are good, things that are trustworthy, things that are truthful. Think on the truth. What is the truth? Through Christ, we have salvation, His grace. And if something bad happens, it's going to rain on the just and the unjust. It rains on those who love Jesus. It rains on those who don't. Things that are bad happen to all of us. But we can be protected with the shield, put on the full armor of Christ, all the things that you put on, and don't turn around and run from it. Sometimes I just pull the blankets over my head and say, I'm not getting up today. But I do eventually get up. There's days, you're going to have bad days. We all do. We have terrible days, some of us. But that's okay. It's okay to not be okay some days. But just don't get wrapped up in material things and the love of your house that you can't give it up. So love your family, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, and just keep dancing.